Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the beautiful Raymond J. Bork Arena here at Endicott College. This is the site of the first ever NWHL playoff game between the number 1 seed Boston Pride and the number 4 seed New York Riveters. I'm Mark Bates. Joining me shortly will be Andy Town. Should have some beautiful action here tonight, and we appreciate you joining us here on YouTube. The New York Riveters have been led recently by Bray Ketchum, points in her last 8 games, and this is a player that earlier in the year tried to have a spot on the Boston Pride, ended up going to New York, and has done quite well for herself. On the Boston end, look for Jillian Dempsey to have a big night. She has 7 points in 7 of her 14 points against this New York club so far this season, and her speed should be an asset for the Pride tonight as they look to win their first playoff game in NWHL history and move on in the Isobel Cup. I'll be back shortly with live action. Welcome back to the Isobel playoffs. Earlier tonight, I caught up with Riveters captain Ashley Johnson. I'm here with Riveters captain Gigi. I'm here with Gigi Marvin and I'm here with Riveters captain Ashley Johnson. Ashley, you've done something that no team in the NWHL has done this year, and that's beat the Pride 2 times. What is it that makes you guys match up so well against them?
We like to play a hard, aggressive game. It's the type of style that they don't like. They don't want to play those battles in the corner, and that's really what our team's based on, is that hard, gritty work. So I think that's why we work well against them.
I think a lot of people would consider you as underdogs today. Does that help you? Does it, as part of the motivation factor going into this weekend?
Yeah, I think we'll just let our play kind of say what we need to say there.
You have a pretty diverse team, not only with players from different countries, but also coming together. Most of you haven't played as a unit before. How has that been for you as a captain?
It's been fine. Our team's full of leaders. It's a great group of people, so it's been pretty easy. We all meshed together right away, which you knew it was going to be a good squad right at the first practice. So it's been awesome. It's been great to meet 20 new people. It's awesome.
What's the game plan to stop Hillary Knight and Brianna Decker?
I mean, apparently she's the next Wayne Gretzky, so I don't know. We'll see.
Apparently you don't think so.
We'll see.
Oh, I like that. A little controversy going into the weekend. So you plan on staying for 3 days, I'm assuming.
I mean, 2 should be enough. We'll see.
2 should be enough. Great. Thank you, Ashley. Good luck this weekend. I'm here. I also got the chance to catch up with Boston Pride captain Gigi Marvin. Gigi, I'm here with Gigi Marvin, and I'd just like to ask you, what are your thoughts going into the first ever playoff game for the Isobel Cup?
We're excited. It's the second season, and every hockey player knows come March it's tournament time, and so we're excited for round one of playoffs, and this is an awesome rink to be in for game one.
So your team has 10 players from last year that won a Clarkson Cup. What does that experience bring against the Riveters here tonight?
There's a lot of depth on the Pride, which is awesome. My teammates are they're not only hilarious, but just great character. And you can look at, we have Patty Kaz winners, you have Team USA gold medalists, you have Olympic silver medalists, you have just a whole slew of national champions, and then Boston Blade champions, a couple two-timers as well. So there's a lot of experience and being able to play in the clutch situations, which we'll rely on. And come this time of season, you don't really think, you just play because it's such a blast. And the stakes are higher for sure, but it's something that every competitor enjoys the most when you're competing under pressure.
A lot of familiarity with only 4 teams in the league. Are there any players that you'll be watching out for tonight on New York?
Yeah, New York has solid players, obviously, with their goalie. Every team, you got to watch out for their goaltender because goalies can steal the game for sure. And then you have Packer up front and Ammerman and Ketchum, and those guys are pretty solid, and Janine Wember. So their team is very, they beat us for sure, and so we're not taking anything lightly or for granted, but we're definitely going to stick to our game, be aware of who they are and who's on the ice, but we play our style of hockey always. And
what is your style going into the playoffs?
We're fast. We're very fast, very skilled team, but we play together and we move the puck and we just kind of swarm all the time. We're always going, and it's fun to play up-tempo hockey like that and just be very creative on the ice as well.
All right. Thanks, Gigi.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back to Raymond J. Bork Arena. We're excited you're joining us here for the first ever Isobel Cup playoffs between the New York Riveters and the Boston Pride. As you see the team's record so far this season, the Riveters 4-12-2, Boston Pride 14-3-1. The Riveters, as we mentioned earlier, the only team to beat the Pride twice this season. So as an underdog, they probably have a better chance than any other team to upset Boston here tonight. The Riveters have one lineup note up front tonight. Morgan Fritzward out with an upper body injury, and in her place, Taylor Holes, with her first game back since an injury she sustained in a game against the Pride at Harvard earlier this year. And a surprising start in net, as you see Jenny Scrivens getting the start tonight. Scrivens from Camarillo, California, the former Cornell grad. 6 games played, 0-1-2 record on the season, 3.95 goals against, 902 save percentage. Nana Fujimoto is out with an apparent illness tonight. Chelsea Layden backing up Scrivens. Chelsea Layden was part of that trade earlier this year with Sinead Lundberg, the swap between the Whale and the Riveters, first ever in NWHL history. Riveters will meet Jenny Scrivens to have a big night. And her counterpart net, Brittany Ott, 13-1-1, 1.94 goals against average, 0.925 save percentage for Otter out of Maine. She's been fantastic. In fact, her play has garnered her Player of the Week, co-player of the week with the aforementioned Sinead Lundberg last week. So no one hotter than Brittany Ott heading into these Isobel playoffs. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. I'm Mark Bates. Joining me shortly will be Andy Town. Anyone in the neighborhood knows that we've had some trouble with weather here tonight. Fitting for the NWHL playoffs, though.
if you please stand and remove your hats to the singing of
I'm going to go live to the national anthem here.
Lisa Simone.
Lisa DeSimone singing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And rockets rocking, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of free and the home of the brave.
Beautiful job there. Referee saying hello to the Riveters coaches. Chad Wiseman, head coach, first year obviously. His assistant Mark DeSimone. Chad Wiseman played briefly in the NHL with the Sharks and Rangers and had a more extensive AHL career. As for the Boston Pride, their head coach Bobby J, assistant Lauren McAuliffe and Dave Jensen. Bobby J was the assistant at the 2014 U.S. Women's Olympic team, and he also played in the NHL with LA. Lauren McAuliffe, Harvard grad. David Jensen, 84 Olympic team. We're just about set for action here. Andy Town, welcome. How was the weather today, Eddie?
It's a little snowy out there. A little chilly. Traffic is not good.
You would have been better off taking a sleigh here tonight with that traffic
so.
and this snow. Thank you everyone for joining us here on YouTube. We'll be underway in just a moment. As we mentioned earlier, Jenny Scrivens getting the nod for the Riveters tonight. Brittany Ottenett for your Pride. So a little background, the Isobel Cup, named after Lady Isobel, who is the daughter of Frederick Stanley. You might know him better as the 16th Earl of Derby, but more...
The trophy named after him.
Yes, exactly. It was Isobel that urged her father to make a cup so that they could give it to the best hockey team in all of Canada, and it's been that way for well over a decade now. We're underway here in Endicott. Janine Weber down the left wing side, wrist shot high over Brittany Ott's head. Kira Dostal at the point, sends it low to Packer. She's met there by Casey Bellamy. Dostal throws it around the net. It's very cold here at the Raymond J. Bourque Arena, which means there's probably going to be some fast ice. Early on, you'll look for players how they handle the puck. Packer, near side. She'll dump it in. 4 Riveters go for a change. Bellamy. Knight looking for Decker.
Of course, everything is a lot smoother and a lot more even on the ice at the beginning of each period once they get the clean sheet out there. Of course, being cold out there, anticipate it'll stay a little bit quicker, longer into the period.
Jillian Dempsey's wrist shot, patted aside by Scrivens. Ketchum. Johnson spins away from a check. She finds Figueroa, who iced the puck. Gedman backed as Brittany Ott sends it to the near wall. Gedman. 6 players converge. Blake Bolden will receive the puck. Bolden gaining some time and room. Uses Gedman. Gedman long pass for Pelkey. Off her stick and off glass. Pride go for a line change. Corinne Bowie in on the forecheck for the Pride. Gallardi, far wall. Kira Dostal moves it out to neutral ice. Emily Field in there for the Pride. Megan Fartelman is spilled, but gets the puck out to center. Rachel Lanis playing against her numerical counterpart, Taylor Holes, who is, as we mentioned earlier, in her first game back after a long injury.
Had been hurt actually back in early December against the Boston Pride. A rule change ensuing from the hit that sent her to the sidelines.
That's what's nice about a first-year league. You just make up rules as you go.
Yeah, it was fairly early in the season after the 6th or 7th game. The rule change being that you can't have the doors to the benches open during play. Of course, now as the play is stopped, they're allowed to have the doors open and changes on and off the ice. But as Taylor Holtz was kind of awkwardly hit into the edge with the door open, they decided to make that change. Of course, goalies, they are allowed to open the door for the goalies as they get off. Can't imagine leaping over the boards with those pads on.
That would be something that people would pay to see. A nice move by Commissioner Ryland on that move mid-season, and a smart rule. Decker finds Smelker. Smelker with speed over the blue line. She'll go in against Orlando. Tries to shove the puck on net from behind. Bayakova. Decker, plenty of room. She'll swing back. Bolden. Tossed up and into the Riveters bench. Almost hit Chad Wiseman. He didn't seem too flustered by it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's seen that happen a few times, standing behind the bench. Do always have to keep your head on a swivel, though.
Dempsey on the draw with Ammerman. Ketchum and Pelkey mixing it up a little bit. Bolden. Gallardi has it intercepted by Ammerman. Slap shot just wide. That one was ripped by Beth Hanrahan. Decker chips it up. Puck goes into the protective netting, which ensurfaces the entire rink here, Andy.
It is a fairly small building, certainly different than what the Pride are used to playing in the Bright Landry Hockey Center. A lot more room, and certainly if we see pucks get high into the air, the scoreboard at center ice certainly risks getting a hit here.
Bolden off the near wall, eludes Pelkey's stick. It's slammed back in by Johnston. Gallardi finds Hickle, left wing side. That's chipped down low by Holes. Dempsey kept in by Orlando, but that one bounces off Fartelman's feet, goes back to the neutral zone. She'll bring it in. Back the other way come the Pride. Gallardi over center. She'll dump and go for a change. Brown met there by Pelkey. Kept in by Marvin at the point. Rachel Lanis puts on the brakes. Quick snapshot, blocker to side by Scrivens. Orlando behind the goal to Johnston. Hard up the wall and back out for Casey Bellamy to play. Marvin over the line. Sydney Kidd takes out Rachel Lanis' skates. Kelly Cook with her first touch of the game for the Pride. Bellamy. Marvin. Just chipped down low by Kelly Cook. She'll go for a line change. Corinne Bowie in on it. Skirts past her stick. Pass too hot for Packer. Packer taking a couple shots at Gedman. Smelker. Bowie knocks that down with her skate. Little D-to-D action.
A lot of action up and down the ice today. No real solid control for either team. Officially, Boston has a 4-0 shots on goal advantage, although Beth Hanrahan with probably the closest and the best shot with that rip on Brittany Ott earlier that just missed.
Back the other way comes Ammerman. Nifty toe drag through Blake Bolden's skate. She goes down. Numbers the other way for the Pride. Here comes Brooklyn, Brianna Decker. She winds up for the slap shot, had it poked away. Not Brooklyn Decker, that's a totally different profession. Ammerman with a slap shot off Knight's skate.
Can't really blame you for making that slip, though.
I don't know what you're talking about. Puck moves very quickly here. That was a short 5-foot pass that hit off the end wall and ends up going for icing.
In the lobby. Dental wristbands are available for purchase.
That's another one thing we've seen a lot of just action in general. Mentioned earlier, it's been a lot of up and down action. We have barely had any whistles. I mean, trying to think, there was the one puck that came into the bench over here on the Riveters side, and that went icing. Beyond that, very few faceoffs.
Good pace to start these Isobel Cup playoffs. Buffalo and Connecticut playing as well this weekend. Smelker with Knight breaking. Intercepted nicely there by Dostal. Pride go for a wholesale line change.
Standings kind of flip-flop the 1 and 2, and then the 3 and the 4 seeds. Probably about 2/3 of the way through the season. You could tell that was on the way to happening. It didn't actually happen till real late, with Boston beating Connecticut at Connecticut to take over the #1 spot. Or actually at Boston to take over the #1 spot and then clinch the top seed in Connecticut. And New York had been ahead of Buffalo for most of the season, including 2 wins over the Pride, the only team to beat Boston twice this year.
Rivers always playing the Pride tough. It's been a while since the Pride lost in regulation, though.
Yeah, they had the 1 overtime loss at the beginning of January. The last regulation loss was the only loss to Connecticut back at the end of November.
Spinning away from a check is Belyakova. Shot misses wide. Thrown back by Ketchum. Smothered by Hawk. As we mentioned in the open break, Ketchum's been very hot lately.
She really has been the last 7 games or so, the last 10 games, I guess, since playing Boston. In Boston, she has been incredibly hot. 7 of her 10 goals have come in that stretch after starting the season. Not necessarily one of the team's top scorers. She had 3 games up till that point and has been on fire since.
Pucks ringed around. Rachel Lannis met there by Ketchum. Picked up by Field, 2-on-1 with Bowie. Field to Bowie. Shot just wide. Back in front, Bolden. She'll throw it into the corner. Field met by Johnson.
There's a nice looking setup there. Field being pushed a little bit too close to the goal line, extended before she could center it back and get it to Bowie. So good defense by New York to keep that one out of the net and prevent the real quality shot from going on goal.
Hanrahan will flip that one into the Pride end. Riveters get a change. Bolden off glass. That one should go for icing unless Knight gets there first, and they say she does. Nice hustle by Hillary Knight in front. Decker! Big save by Scrivens. Marvin with a turnaround shot just wide.
Give Jenny Scrivens a ton of credit right there. Really stayed on her feet, and even after the first great save was right there and alert and aware, ready to make any other stops that came back at her.
Decker hits Smelker. Smelker with speed over the blue line. Nice defense by Figueroa. They're going to get her for a body check maybe here. It is body checking. Looked pretty innocent, but looks like they might be calling things tight, especially when the players' numbers are facing away from the boards.
I certainly don't want to see any injuries. You get a big body check that player doesn't see coming. We want to try and prevent that, and that gives Boston a chance at the power play.
Bolden, Gedman, play catch at the blue line.
Power play hasn't been great recently for Boston, though they do still have the number 2 man advantage in the league.
First unit out is Pelkey, Dempsey, and Hickle up front with Gedman and Bolden. Here's Pelkey, wrist shot. Smothered by Scrivens right in that Rosie the Riveter logo. Probably the coolest logo in the league, maybe in hockey right now.
Certainly has a lot going on to it with the basically whole upper half of the body, a couple of colors in there, so it's probably one of the more involved logos as well. And you know, it's definitely different than some of the simpler logos out there.
First unit out for the Pride. Knight looking for Smelker, poked away nicely by Dostal. Bellamy gloves that one down, throws it errantly towards the blue line. Nice play by Marvin to keep that in. Knight met there by Kidd. Up to the point, wrist shot Marvin, easily kicked aside by Scrivens. Bellamy circles to the middle, wrist shot through a lot of traffic. Puck loose, but we get a whistle.
I don't think Scrivens knew where the puck was, but she got the whistle there. It looks like it was Hillary Knight that kind of got knocked into the crease, and she was down underneath Scrivens. That's why they blew the whistle. And it's possible the referee also lost track of it. It was under the bodies there for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, you'll see on the replay here, Knight gets thrown into the goalie there, and I think the referee, Katie Gay, was probably saying, all right, well, that puck's probably locked up here if we've got Knight in the goalie, so it was a good whistle.
Looked like Scrivens may have clenched that between her calves as well, or covered it up with one of her legs.
Bolden with a wrist shot. That one was a good shot, 2 feet off the ice. Scrivens had to be quick to that test. Hickle in the corner. Orlando pesters her. Dempsey back to Bolden. She can rip it, and she does. That one hits the side, maybe the chest protector of Scrivens. Up to the line, Hickle brought in offside by Bolden.
First NWHL championship, the Isobel Cup, will be awarded next weekend at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Be there to see who is crowned the champion of this inaugural season, as the winner of this series takes on the winner of the Buffalo Beauts and Connecticut Whales. Tickets are available at nwhl.co.
Certainly an exciting time in women's hockey. Marvin playing it around to Bellamy. Left there for Knight, too far for her stick. Knight goes barreling through, allows Decker to collect the puck. Decker to Smelker, back to Decker. In front, saved by Scrivens. Pride 0 for 1, first penalty in Isobel Cup playoff history. Shots unofficially 10-1 for Boston.
We're about 11 minutes of play now. Boston does average about 42.5 shots per game this season. They've really been up there and put up some magnificent totals, north of 60 this season. And right now, Boston's pretty close to on pace for about 60.
Scrum behind the net. Finally worked back to the point. It's Bolden. Really tenacious in their own end, are the Riveters so far tonight.
The defense has been strong. They've been trying to protect Scrivens. Of course, Boston does still have 10 shots on net. She's held her own in the crease.
Kelly Cook picks up the 11th shot for the Pride. A lot of those shots going right into the core area of Jenny Scrivens. Really hasn't been tested outside in those scoring areas.
Boston has been able to get some shots on net, but they haven't really been necessarily super high quality shots that you would expect to go in. Scrivens has had to make a couple of really nice saves, but so far not too much out of the extraordinary.
Brianna Decker a little bit too aggressive with her stick. She'll go off for a hook. Riveters power play here with 8:18 left in the first period.
And that is a power play unit that has struggled all season long, about 13% this year. And Boston with the #2 penalty kill in the league. Certainly still give the advantage to New York because they have the 5-on-4, but it's not really as much of an advantage as you would see in most situations.
So Hickel flying in on the shorthand. She's met by Johnston, and she'll just send that back out to center ice. Casey Bellamy ragging some time. Dostal calming things down for the Riveters. She'll set up behind Scrivens. Cross ice pass intercepted by Hickel. Marvin looking for Dempsey. She gets bowled over there by Dostal, and that'll be a body check. Really undisciplined play there by Dostal.
The power play didn't last too long, and certainly won't help New York. Of course, that's a 37-second power play that they were unable to score on, and then Boston will have that 37 seconds back at the end of this. So now 4-on-4 for a minute and 23, and really New York just needs to be a lot more careful of that when they have that man advantage, which they haven't even been great on this season. At least try and wear down Boston a little bit, and especially in this first game of a 3-game series potentially, if New York can get one of the wins. There's only been 1 or 2 weekends this season where teams have played back-to-back on a Saturday and Sunday, so in a 3-game series, conditioning will be even more important.
Well, as Ashley Johnston said earlier in our pregame interview, she hopes it's a 2-game series, so the Riveters aren't just thinking about winning one. They want to come out of this thing and go on and, you know, maybe face the Whale or the Buttes.
Al mentioned it earlier, they are the only team that's beaten Boston more than once this year. It's one of those weird things about hockey. You got the #1 team in the league and the #4 team in the league, and the #4 team, only team to take on the #1 team and come out on top twice.
The Rivs have lost 7 of 8 coming into this. Their last win was against Buffalo, and their last game against the Whale, they lost 4-2.
Boston ended up going 5-1 against Connecticut this year. 5-0. Only loss against Buffalo was an overtime loss. Mentioned that earlier, back on January 3rd.
Bolden steps away from the boards, didn't get a lot on it, just hopped over Hillary Knight's stick, or she would have had a slam dunk. 33 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Ketchum looking across for Figueroa. She's met there by Dempsey. Figueroa off the linesman's skate. She'll have to go backwards. Orlando for Ketchum. Met by Marvin. Bellamy. Dempsey. Hickel setting up left wing side. Broken up by Belyakova. The Russian import.
Oh, great timing right there for Brianna Decker to be coming out of the box. Puck found its way right to her stick, and now she's keeping it in the offensive zone.
Decker. Dempsey. Decker! 1-0 Pride.
That'll go down as a power play goal for the Boston Pride as, again, Brianna Decker, fresh out of the box, just stepped right on the ice, found the puck, turned around, was able to get it in the offensive zone, kept it there despite New York trying to knock it away, and ends up putting it home.
first goal in NWHL playoff history. You see the patience by Jillian Dempsey, who we mentioned needed to have a big game for the Pride tonight, as she just stalls through the defense woman to her and finds Decker backdoor for a 1-0 lead.
Assisted by number 3, Jillian Dempsey.
Johnson back to her partner Orlando, up for Celeste Brown. Brown looking for Holst in the middle, too far for her stick. We'll have an icing called. Yeah, really kind of a momentum killer. Riveters could have been on a power play. You get the call on Dostal for body checking, and out of the box, Decker with extending her goal scoring streak here.
15th goal of the season, 5th one against New York. She has kept her scoring pretty well spread out this season against the 3 other teams in the league.
Extra shot there by Brown, and I think she's gonna go. It'll either be Brown or Decker. The high stick from Decker is what they caught. There was some subsequent body contact from Celeste Brown there, but they'll get the initial, and Decker back to the box.
New York is going to have to stay disciplined here. Again, it was just 37 seconds between when Boston committed the first penalty and when New York got back in the box as well. That negated the 5-on-4 advantage that the Riveters had. And now New York will try and just keep it in the zone, try and get some shots on. Still, they only have 1 against Brittany Ott through the first 14.5+ minutes.
Well, it worked out pretty well for Decker to go to the box the first time, so I doubt this is a strategy from Bobby J, but we'll see what happens when she gets out. Dostal's shot from the point deflected, goes into the corner. Packer, left point side, finds Ammerman. They play catch. Bray Ketchum. Dostal looks off his shot, and wisely, because Hickel was in the shooting lane. Backdoor pass for Ketchum. Knocked down there by Bellamy. Dostal and Ketchum. Broken up by Dempsey. She's got wheels and she'll use them. Here's Dempsey, wrist shot, not much on it. Scrivens looked to play it, but a quick whistle.
Boston does have a handful of shorthanded goals this year, 5 in fact. Wouldn't be terribly shocked if we saw another one today, especially with the struggles that New York's power plays had this season.
Decker in the box leads the NWHL in shorthanded goals with 3, so she can't help out at the time being. Belyakova with a dangerous pass. Luckily, that gets by Corinne Bowie's stick. Wrist shot by Fartelman goes over the blocker of Brittany Ott.
Had Bowie gotten that one, that could have been real dangerous with Rachel Lannis right up there.
Fartelman having trouble collecting the puck. She's able to get it up to Hanrahan into the zone. Gedman just will continue that puck on its cycle around the rink. 42 seconds left on the Riveter power play. Dostal. Chipped in by Fartelman. Bolden met there by Weber. Janine Weber scored the game-winning goal in the Clarkson Cup final last year, so she's no stranger to big games and big goals. Packer broken up by Knight. Knight tenaciously fighting through checks. Backhand had to be blockered aside by Scrivens. Ammerman leaves it for Packer. She's spilled by Gallardi. Teams are 5 aside. Decker out of the box gets spilled, and Ammerman will go to the box here. Gallardi. Ammerman will get a little bit more for her 2 minutes with a huge hack there.
Boston trying to hang on to this. Brittany Ott is on the sideline.
Marvin Bellamy, slap shot just wide. Knight up to Marvin. She lets one go into the chest of Jordan Smelker, who collects that puck and kind of flubs a backhander that Scrivens, who was down on the ice, is able to collect.
Boston did a great job maintaining control of the puck there, and even after getting 1 or 2 shots off, they were able to pick it right back up before New York, had a chance to touch it, and that let play continue, work some more time with a 6-on-5 advantage going into this 5-on-4 as Brittany Ott will, of course, return between the pipes.
Second unit out for the Pride. Dempsey, Pelkey, and Hickel. Bolden and Gedman at the points. Orlando Kidd, Weber, Brown. Pelkey in the corner finds Gedman up at the left point. Nifty tic-tac-toe pass, rebound off the Pelkey shot, slammed home by Zoe Hickel. Pride up 2-0.
Wow, that was good looking right there from the Boston Pride. Just set it up perfectly, pass right back out into the face-off circle right at the edge and sent home. Take another look. There's that terrific pass. And then right there on the doorstep, Dempsey. We'll see who ends up getting credit. Looked like it was deflected back in after the initial shot, but very well set up with bodies there to knock it in.
I think that will be Hickel's goal, and sometimes you got to give it away to get it back, and she did. Riveters gonna need a jump here because this one looks like it could be getting out of hand early.
Almost got another one right there, sliding in front of the net. Another power play goal credited for the Boston Pride.
Gedman gets the second assist on the Hickel goal. Pelkey with the primary. Brittany Ott, that puck looked like it was going wide. She hasn't been tested all that much. It's kind of chilly in here. You wonder if the goalie tightens up or loses mental focus. Only 2 shots for the Riveters thus far.
That is really surprising that New York has just 2 shots. We're 18 plus minutes into this one. There's only 2 minutes left in the first period. That's just an incredibly low total.
Knight down the right wing side. Her wrist shot grabbed down by Scrivens. And not just it's surprising that there's only 2 shots, but it seems like they've really exerted a lot of energy to not really move cohesively into the offensive zone.
They haven't, not that they haven't tried to move in, it's been more just kind of trying to get opportunities to get fresh legs on defense is really, as Boston has been pressuring after the first few minutes, which was very up and down. New York has been kept a little bit more in the defensive zone, Boston controlling the puck, and New York just hasn't had that many chances.
Smelker looking backdoor for Knight. Knight loses her glove. Elena Orlando shoves it to the back wall. Knight, gloveless, looking for a trailer, can't find Decker.
That was great stick handling, though. Unfortunately, nobody there in a yellow jersey to pass to.
Nifty move by Ammerman to turn Gallardi. Back the other way. 3-on-1 for the Pride if they hurry. Knight, Decker, Hickel. It's Knight to Decker. Pad save by Scrivens. Dostal throws it up the wall. A foot race by Belyakova is able to nullify the icing, and she goes down after Blake Bolden got her stick entangled in her skates. Gallardi flips one over Dempsey's stick. She'll collect. Looked like Johnston tripped over the blue line there.
It'll come up and get you sometimes.
Pelkey in. That shot's tipped. Pad save by Scrivens. We have the end of the first period here, and Coach Chad Wiseman is incensed on the Riveters bench.
not a very happy man at all, and the officials will come over, and it almost sounds like they just gave him a bench warning. Now that, if Amanda Pelkey had been able to score right there, that could have really hurt the New York Riveters coming just before the buzzer, as Boston already has the 2-0 lead. If that one had come in with less than a second to go, that really could have sent a dagger into the hearts of the New York Riveters right at the end of the period.
Yeah, they're going to have some housekeeping to take care of in the locker room after the first period. Outshot by 18 unofficially here in the first. Really, the best chance that the Riveters had was that early chance by Hanrahan, which was a slap shot wide.
Boston really controlled, again, the beginning of that period, very up and down, back and forth, as Boston was able to control after probably the first 5 minutes or so. Pride really dominating New York from that point, and of course New York's non-discipline after Brittany Decker's first penalty really hurt.
We'll have some youth teams here, part of the ceremonies that'll be going on all weekend. So hopefully you folks will stick with us here. Mark Bass along with Andy Town, and we'll see you shortly to get going with a second period. Welcome back to the Raymond J. Bork Arena here at Endicott College in lovely Beverly, Massachusetts. The Boston Pride lead the New York Riveters 2-0 after the first period of the first ever NWHL playoff game. Mark Bates here with Andy Town. And Andy, first period, what are your thoughts?
Really dominating by the Boston Pride. Back and forth early on, kind of getting to know one another again, because it's been a while since these teams really played each other. They did face off in New York back in early February, but prior to that, one matchup in January, and really saw the bulk of their meetings back at the beginning of the season. So, lately we've seen Boston really get comfortable with Connecticut and even Buffalo towards the end of the season. They had one game, but lately it's been the Whale that Boston has seen quite a bit of. So still feeling out the Riveters here, and really saw where Boston has improved since early on in the season when they struggled a little bit and lost a couple of games to the New York Riveters. And we've seen how the standings have shaken out a little bit, and Boston kind of taking over as the clear number one team in the league. In New York has fallen to the bottom of the standings, and we saw that difference through the first 20 minutes.
We saw at the end of the period, head coach Chad Wiseman was really giving it to the official Katie Gay. Do not know if he got bench minor for that. I think it was just a warning.
It sounded like she came over and gave him a warning. Not sure, if they consider that an official warning or if she just came and said, "Chill out a little bit. No need to slam the doors on the boards there and going into the bench."
Maybe just some frustration for the way the first period played out, but I really thought the Riveters skated hard. They checked well. They really were moving their feet, and it just really looked like a team that might not have as much high-end talent, but the effort level is there.
Boston did go 2 for 3 on the power play in the first period, both of their goals coming on a man advantage, and the first one especially was impressive from Brianna Decker, just coming straight out of the box, getting the puck right there and making something happen. As you see Brianna Decker right there, and here's the that was the first goal you saw there just after she came out of the box, and you kind of could still see in the background that the penalty box door was closing. And here's the second.
Decker slams the face-off forward. 2 power play goals, the difference so far in this game. Bellamy can't connect with Smelker. As we mentioned earlier, a very fast ice surface here at the Raymond J. Bork Arena, named for the greatest defenseman not named or to ever play the game. Offside whistle down here.
And we didn't really see it slow down too much towards the end of the first period. Of course, we were watching Boston take control, and they had the puck. A lot of the talent on this Boston team really doesn't matter at all what the ice surface is. Saw some great stick handling, especially from Hillary Knight, which everybody who knows Hillary Knight has come to expect from her.
Marvin and Ketchum go for the puck, turned over to Bellamy. Off Decker's stick. That one slammed down for icing. Perhaps another product of the quick sheet here. Dempsey on the draw with Ammerman. Ammerman wins it to Johnston. Orlando continues the puck around to Hanrahan. She'll flip one up, hits off the stanchion. No whistle, it plays on. Ketchum in the slot, wrist shot off the crossbar and out of play. That one right in front of us, Andy, looked like that might have been out of play, but play continued on.
It looked like the Riveters bench also expected the whistle there, but it almost worked out well for New York.
It sure did.
Brittany Ott didn't seem to quite know where the puck was after it got deflected behind her. Maybe a little bit lucky that it went up into the screen.
Ketchum having a laugh after that shift. Rip shot, another quarter of an inch lower, and it's a 1-goal hockey game. inadvertent pass by Gedman has to be knocked away by Ott. Hickle gets run into by Dostal in from her point. Kidd with a slap shot right into Amanda Pelkey's chest. Gedman with time. Long pass for Hickle. She tries the one touch to Pelkey. Figueroa to Brown. Bellamy to the near side. Here's Pelkey. Cycling it back, looking for Field. Fartelman pestered by Field. She collides with Olsen. They go into the boards and then over the boards for a change. Gallardi to the speedy Rachel Lannis. Lannis with a low shot, maybe looking for a tip in front. Patted away by Scrivens. Lots of players on the ice here, or spilled on the ice here so far in the second.
And back to the ice surface, it's not even something that Boston has had a chance to get used to as their home ice this season, because they've played their regular season games at the Bright Landry Hockey Center, but because of other commitments there, they were unable to get that building reserved and are up here at the Ray Bourque Arena.
Packer, excuse me, Andy. Packer takes out Corinne Bowie's legs there, and she'll go to the box. She's not too happy about that.
Just the fourth penalty against New York today. Of course, Boston successful the first 2 times the Riveters got themselves into the box.
Decker back to Bellamy, spinning away for Ammerman. Smelker behind the goal to Decker. Knight in front to Smelker, poked aside by Orlando. Marvin. Decker left wing side, across for Bellamy, back to Decker. Scrivens comes across and makes an unbelievable save. She was out of position but sprawled to make the stop. Could have been Decker's second.
Had to slide around quite a bit there and ended up getting that puck shot right at her, able to make the save. Had to really find her way to it and get in the lane. Now watch how she moves here. Of course, blocked by the referee a little bit, but had to move around the crease quite a bit.
Marvin with a shot fake. Over to Decker. Knight, Bellamy, backdoor, just wide. Belyakova up the wall and out. Figueroa tries to hammer that one out. Knocked down by Knight. Knight waiting for the play to develop. Throws it on goal. Smelker. Bellamy. Marvin fans on that one-timer. Decker and Knight. Now Bellamy. Decker fakes, wrist shot. Glove down by Knight. In front, Smelker. Knocked away with Scrivens down on the ice. Smelker with speed. She fans on that shot attempt. Tied up by Kidd. Knight comes away with it. Marvin at the point. Blocked nicely by Celeste Brown. 15 seconds left on the power play. Decker, Knight, blocked again. Decker, back to Gedman. Shot for a pass. Decker tips wide, and Janine Weber goes to her chest to knock that one down the ice, and back to even strength for the Riveters.
Boston had been trying to keep it real close around the net there and finally brought it back to the blue line and bounced away. So you can understand why Boston wanted to crash into the net a little bit, keep it tight on Scrivens and really keep her moving. We've seen her move around pretty well today, although a couple of times almost getting a little bit lucky with the puck finding its way to her more than her finding a way to the puck. So if Boston can take advantage of that here and get themselves another goal, they'd really be sitting in nice position.
Hanrahan over the line. She goes wide, throws that one, probably would have hit off the side of the net, but Brittany Ott's got to stay loose and limber. She gets out and smothers that puck for a whistle. Boston power play there, really methodical. Riveters not chasing a lot, but getting into the shooting lanes and probably 4 or 5 quality block shots.
They only see 4 shots on goal here in the second period for the Pride. So 28-6 advantage overall, but the shot attempts, that number is quite a bit higher.
Pride and Riveters players alternate picking each other's pockets. It's Lannis over the blue line. She cuts back, met by 3 Riveters. Gallardi to the middle with some room now. Looking to move it, she'll leave it for Kelly Cook. Gallardi still in from her point in the corner. Cook up to Bellamy, slap pass, tip, out of play.
Fans take a chance to split the puck.
Really an extended tour of the offensive zone for Gallardi there.
Really have been impressed with the stick handling Boston has shown tonight on several occasions. It's been not just 1 or 2 players too, it's been up and down the roster, seen players getting in and right back out of trouble, working their way around the defenders.
Packer breaks up that Gedman pass. Scrivens will leave it for Johnston. She's met by Knight. Smelker, Decker, Johnston, Orlando all in the corner. It's Packer who comes away with it. Marvin tries to play that one into the offensive zone. Packer comes away with it. Toe drag, wrist shot. Hits Brittany Ott right in the stomach. 13:22 left in the second period here.
In the first NWHL championship, the Isobel Cup will be awarded next weekend at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Be there to see who's crowned the champion of this inaugural season, as the winner of this series takes on the winner of the Buffalo Buttes and Connecticut Whale series. Tickets are available at nwhl.co.
It's really a neat venue, fans, so if you can get down to the Newark area, it's really a neat rink. You can look into live action from the street. Pelkey with a blast, she scores! An absolute rocket from Pelkey from about 20 feet. Beats Scrivens blocker side, 3-0 Pride.
We'll definitely take another look at this. I don't know if Scrivens even saw this coming. It looked like Pelkey was just going to be content to skate around with it, and there it is. She saw the opening and decided to go for it. Didn't have anywhere or anybody else to pass it to. She was headed towards the far corner and just went right for it.
Boston goal scored by number 16.
That is the perfect spot for a goal scorer to score. About a foot off the ice. And of course, if you can shoot the puck like Amanda Pelkey, that helps too. She's back at it again. Here comes Pelkey, met by Orlando. She fights through the check. Johnston cycling it back to Orlando. It's go time for the Riveters as they're down 3 just about halfway through this game. Really not many offensive chances, and here's one for the Pride. Field backhand just wide. Setting up behind the net. Johnson draped all over her. Bowie goes hard into the corner, taking down Orlando. Lannis met by Belyakova. Bellamy steps away from a check. Finds Lannis in the corner, centered in front. Through traffic, Brown tied up by Field. Pride continue their possession. Lannis leaves it there. Orlando, Bowie tenaciously coming down from the left wing, looking for Lannis in front. Up and out. You hear the cheers from the Riveters vents. Get there and go. But back the other way comes the Pride. Here's Marvin leaving it for Decker. Blast! Score!
She knew she wanted that shot. As soon as she got it settled right at the point, knocked it down and wound up to power it in.
That's an upper decker. 4-0 Boston. second of the night for Decker.
Got the nice pass coming right back from Gigi Marvin, it looked like, and settled it right down, drilled it home.
Bolden with a shot from half ice. Had to be patted aside by Scribbins. Ketchum. Bring it into the Riveters offensive zone. Packer. She's checked by Bolden. Gedman fighting away Fartelman. Figueroa, too hot for a kid stick. Knight with Decker going to the net. Decker with 2 hat tricks on the season already, the only player in NWHL history with 2 in 1 season, this being the first season, so that makes sense.
She was the first one to get her first hat trick as well. Happened back in the 3rd game of the season at Buffalo.
Hickle fights through Hanrahan's check, thrown out. Knight going against her numerical counterpart, Figueroa.
And Decker has hat tricks against Buffalo and Connecticut. Just need to add New York to the list.
Yes. Nice puck collection for Brianna Decker, I'm sure. Gallardi spins away from the Ammerman check. Hops into the Riveters bench, right next to Chelsea Layden.
At the inaugural Isobel Cup Finals, taking place March 11th through 13th.
And really, since that first couple of minutes of this game where it was up and down, both teams feeling each other out a little bit, Boston has absolutely controlled. New York has had a couple more chances through the first half of this second period, but still, it's been Boston control the whole way through. And again, we see 2 more goals on the board. And they haven't really been fluke goals either. They were very well set up by the Pride.
Nice chance there from Belyakova. Ott had to be up to the test. 3-on-2 the other way. Offside is Pelkey, who's just about 2 steps over the line when Hickle went to make that pass. So what do you say if you're Chad Wiseman or Mark DeSimone on the Riveters bench now, down 4 halfway through the game with, you know, the premise that, you know, you could go down 1-0 here today?
Well, you definitely have to win either tonight or tomorrow, and you certainly don't want to put yourself in a must-win situation, so have to keep your head in this game. And we've seen several times this year where one team in the league, not necessarily saying just New York or just Boston, but around with Connecticut and Buffalo included, where a team has scored the first few goals, 3 or 4 even in a game, and then the other team has come right back and scored 3 or 4 to either tie or take the lead, or certainly at least make it a game where they have a chance for another goal later on.
Ketchum 1-on-3, able to set up possession for the Riveters.
There's still plenty of hockey left. Boston had their first 4 goals in the first half of the game, so we've still got the back half left. You never know what New York can do.
Figueroa steps in, wrist shot. That hits Gedman in the back of the leg.
Of course, the tall task ahead of them with Brittany Ott in net, leading the league in goals against average, 2nd in save percentage, most wins in the league, of course, most games played as well. She had 17 starts this year out of the 18 games. Nobody else in the league with more than 13 appearances.
She has been a workhorse for the Pride and an MVP candidate.
I would have to say that award is likely to go to Hillary Knight, but Brittany Ott could very well end up finishing 2nd in the voting.
Up to the point. Kidd's wrist shot missed wide. Gallardi around Ammerman. Nice forecheck from Weber, keeps it in the corner. Weber again, tenacious in the corner. Here she is, she gets bumped by Decker. Centering pass, collected by Smelker. She'll just try to move around Kidd, who stands her ground. Decker gets spilled. Puck back to the neutral zone. It's Smelker and Kidd one more time. Knight finding Decker. Decker moving to the slot, backhand pass. Bellamy had moved in from her left point. Knight, wrist shot from an impossible angle, bar down, 5-0 Pride. Did you think she was gonna shoot the puck there?
No, I mean, that wouldn't be the first time that I'm surprised today by, by a Pride player shooting. Saw it on Pelkey's goal earlier where he was just skating through, and Brianna Decker, that's number 3, and she's got the hat trick.
Did Decker tip that? I think it was Knight's shot. I know it was the first through the line there with. Well, we have a replay of that. Maybe we'll let you know. But for now, another. Oh, they announced Hillary Knight, so it's pure chaos here. I thought it was Hillary Knight. She was essentially on the goal line. I mean, most players don't even have the wherewithal to throw the puck on net from there.
Yeah, Brianna Decker's got plenty of time. She could get the third still.
Knight's first to the playoffs.
And you take a look at the scoreboard here, you see the 5-0, but really what could throw you for a loop and have you wondering which period it is. You got Boston with 32 shots on net and just 9 so far for New York. You look at Boston's total there, you think, okay, might be in the third period with 6 minutes left, and then look at New York's and you see 9, and okay, we're in the first period. Nope, we're about halfway through the second.
And Jenny Scrivens has made a number of brilliant saves so far. It's not like, she's let in some soft goals here. I mean, you got Knight shooting from, Endicott's pool over there. 5:58 left in the second period.
28 saves already for Jenny Scrivens and still 26 minutes left to play.
Draw one by Weber. Kidd. Holes bumped by Bowie. Kidd. Slammed in by Holes. Left there. Brittany Ott for Blake Bolden. Up the right wing side. Up and out by Bowie. Here comes Field down the left wing. 2-on-2 with Lannis. Lannis. Her tip attempt just goes wide. Field continues on. Finds Gedman. Orlando cycles it back to Kidd. Bolden fires that one in. Both teams going for a line change, at least those who can. Ammerman nonchalantly skating at that. Knocks down Gallardi's clearing pass. Here's Fartelman. Lowers her shoulder, sends the puck along for Hanrahan. Hanrahan digging, throws a shot at the net. Gallardi met there by Fartelman. The first extensive possession in recent memory, and an unfortunate pass for the Riveters, and they had to collect at center ice. Dostal firing it back into the corner. Ammerman meets Bolden. Centering pass comes to Hillary Knight. She's got Decker on the right wing. Here's Knight. Leaving it for Decker. Wrist shot, toe saved by Scrivens. That one had eyes. Puck hops up on the back of the net and we have a whistle.
You can tell how much Hillary Knight and Brianna Decker have played together. Knight knew exactly where Decker would be on that, and Scrivens able to kick it away, but that looked like it could have easily been goal number 6 for the Pride tonight.
Yeah, and it's the extra second Knight waited too to draw the D towards her that opened up that chance for Decker, and really a nice right skate save by Scrivens there. Thrown around to Ketchum. Ketchum to Bayakova. Bellamy Gets a little butt end from Packer. Pelkey, quick touch to Hickel, who'll try and send it back to her. Johnston. Decker with the nice back check, able to keep it in the offensive zone. Tied up at the blue line here. Casey Bellamy. UNH product out of Westfield, Massachusetts, goes for a line change after sending that one into the Riveters end. Here's Kelly Cook, finds Bowie. Bowie speeds around Johnston. Packer over to help out. Gedman from the point, she can let it rip. Shot misses wide by about 20 feet. Long flip in by Bolden. No problem for Scrivens.
You see that shot total just continuing to climb for Boston. And really, they're just about on pace for 60 shots even tonight. 37 with nearly 3 minutes to go in the second period. They've just been peppering Scrivens all night, and she's been able to make some pretty nice stops, but Boston has been able to find some holes as well for the 5 goals.
Lannis takes down Weber. Battle in the corner. Knocked loose. Weber was breaking, could have been in alone, but nice keep in there. Ammerman going against Bolden. Weber looking to find. Right, 3-on-1. Knight holds, looks for Decker. I think we have a crease violation there. Decker was going hard to the net.
I think Scrivens was just able to spread out and make the stop, as the puck did end up going just across the top of the crease. Either way, New York able to keep it out, and Boston will set up for the face-off.
Folks, come on down to the Raymond J. Bork Arena tomorrow, 8 o'clock start time, same teams. Better weather tomorrow, so you have no excuse. Unless you have an excuse, but please watch us. First ever NWHL playoffs, the chase for the Isobel Cup. Madison Packer over the red line.
terms of shot balance, it was only 13-7 instead of 24-4 through the second group of 20 minutes.
Do you anticipate a goalie change for the third period?
I wouldn't be surprised either way, I guess. I wouldn't expect that they'll go for it, but they do have Chelsea Layden and Nana Fujimoto. Both of them have seen some decent time this year. Chelsea Layden, of course, coming over from Buffalo, or from Connecticut, excuse me, in the first NWHL trade. So we'll see if they decide to use the second body. Of course, tomorrow is a must-win, so as long as Boston is able to hang on here, and they'll certainly want to keep a fresh body there. Imagine that would be Nana Fujimoto.
Yeah, it was an illness, apparently, that Fujimoto was not able to go today. Layden had played 2 of the last 4 games. She did alternate with Fujimoto, so it was kind of a surprise to go to Scribbins. Well, we've got an interview for you here. Jillian Dempsey's down. Hi, Jill. How you doing?
Hi, how's it going?
Good. So good start for you guys here through 2 periods. Nice assist for you early. Go walk us through that play in the first period where you picked up the assist on the 2-on-1.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a broken play, but Zoe Hickle was relentless, keeping control of the puck, and it bounced over to Dex, and we just went in 2-on-1, and she slid it over to me, and I tried to get the goalie to freeze, hoping that she would fall for my fake shot, and slid it over to Dex, and she's always going to finish it, so.
Yeah, 2 goals for Decker today. Your line has been flying. What do you see from your line mates so far today?
We're just trying to use our speed. This is a game where the opponents are going to try to hold us against the walls. They're going to try to clutch and grab, so we're trying to beat them from all the corners and win every battle and just really try to get our speed and get our legs going.
Jillian, you haven't played against New York a whole lot lately. What's really changed since the beginning of the season, where you saw them 4 times early on and not so much lately?
Yeah, it was kind of weird how the schedule worked out, but I think we've become stronger since then. We had a couple losses against them earlier on in the season, and we really tried to bear down and make sure we take each period, 1 period at a time, and start strong, and we're able to come out and do that. So now we just have to keep wearing them down through the end of this game.
All right, thanks, Jillian. Best of luck in the third.
Thank you so much.
All right, everyone, we'll be back with you shortly from the Raymond J. Bourque Arena in the NWHL playoffs.
it's time to announce today's winning 50-50 raffle number. If you have ticket number 5393035, please bring it to the merchandise table to claim your prize. Once again, 5393035.
It's a big hit in the NWHL. Back live here. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And believe it or not, nothing's happened. We just fast forward to 16:45 in the third.
Yeah, 3:15 off the clock in the third period, and not a whole lot of action missed there, just a lot of skating around. So if you're going to have technical difficulties, I guess that's not a bad time to have them.
The Riveters had trouble notoriously in the third period this season. They were outscored 39-11 in the third against the Pride alone. Oh, I'm sorry. This 14 goals against the Pride in the third this season, but 39-11 against all teams in the third.
Yeah, overall it has been a period of struggle for the Riveters, and for the Pride though, it's been a dominant period, so we already see a 5-0 lead. Imagine we could even see a couple more goals here for the Boston Pride, as they've outscored opponents 31-13 this season in the final 20 minutes.
Ammerman had some room upstairs, put it about 2 feet over the net. Dostal eludes Jordan Smelker's check, spinning away is Ammerman. Ammerman with Ketchum going to the slot. Johnston with a shot. Riveters showing some urgency here. Figueroa in from her point. Decker meets her. Bumped out to Knight. She'll go 2-on-2 with Smelker. Smelker pretty much stealing the puck off Knight's stick. Johnston ties up Knight in the corner. Smelker with a tomahawk on break Ketchum. She's getting up a little bit gingerly. Brown working on Gallardi. Gallardi bumps her into the boards. Crowd of players to the right of Brittany Ott. Bellamy gaining some room up to Hickel. Hickel looks off Pelkey, throws on the brakes, long shot for a rebound, still loose in front, quick whistle. Jillian Dempsey gets throttled by Moore. You have some language, hopefully you folks don't hear that at home.
Just players tripping over in the crease there, and Chad Wiseman is not very happy about it. Have to get a censor for tomorrow's broadcast.
We're located just behind the Riveters bench, so we get kind of a really unique look onto, bench life. And unfortunately, we hear some words that would probably get soap in our mouths from our mothers if we use them, Andy.
It is a good view, though. We're right on the red line, not far off the ice. Far enough above the benches that they're not really too much in the way.
Bellamy beats Weber in a foot race. Dempsey gets spilled again. That's twice in the last 30 seconds. She'll probably go for a change. Hickel dumps it in behind Scrivens. Dostal, Hackler curling for her. Dostal chooses the long route, looking for Belyakova. Gedman steers the puck away from Belyakova's check. Cook knifes that up the wall. Long, thunderous shot there from Johnston. Field and Ketchum tangled up. Gedman over the red line. She'll flip a backhand in behind Scrivens. Orlando met by Lannis. Little forearm shiver on Field from Orlando. She'll come back in for another bump. Orlando curls back to open up space. Johnson can't handle the 2-foot pass, hopping over her stick. Orlando no look pass up the wall. Bolden it converged, keeps that one in. Cook in front, glove save by Scrivens.
That's got to be the save of the day for Jenny Scrivens. She was falling back, waved the glove out there, and somehow made the stop.
Kelly Cook not getting a lot of ice time today, but just made the most of her opportunities, and that was a brilliant chance, and like you said, Andy, probably the best save either way of the game. Face-off won by Brown.
Now, one thing to keep in mind, Brittany Ott does have the only shutout in the NWHL this year. So far has a clean sheet, although do keep in mind as well that back on January 10th when Boston beat New York 8-1, it was 8-0 late into the third period, and New York was able to get on the board. So certainly not over yet. Can't notch the second shutout of the year for Ott until the final horn sounds.
Scrivens puts up the stop sign and she sticks that puck to the corner. Dostal finds Packer. Packer looking for Hanrahan. Bolden will send that one counterclockwise to Knight. Gallardi finds Decker. Nice puck movement by the Pride up the ice. Decker wanted that pass, didn't get it, takes a step offside. Looking forward to next year. 3 players for the Patty Kazmaier this year drafted by teams in this game here.
The top 2 of the top 3 finalists for the Patty Kazmaier Award. Alex Carpenter, she was the first overall pick taken by New York, and the number 3 overall pick was Kendall Coyne, finalist for Northeastern University.
Pride draft picks, aside from Coyne, Emmerich Matchmeyer from Harvard, Lexi Bender, BC, Mie Dench, a real sleeper at 15. I think she'll be a fantastic pro player. And number 19, Shannon McCauley.
Alex Carpenter was the Patty Kazmaier Award winner last year, and she's had a phenomenal college career. Kendall Coyne breaking records left and right at Northeastern, and you and I both coming from Northeastern, Husky alumni. I feel like I've done myself a disservice not watching Northeastern women's hockey this year, as Kendall Coyne has been lighting it up, and I'm really excited to watch her in a Pride uniform next year.
Well, you still have the chance. There are playoffs this weekend for Hockey East, just down the road at Merrimack.
Able to beat Providence last weekend in the first round of the tournament.
Jillian Dempsey, pass hops off her stick. Gedman, puck just hopped outside the line. As for the Riveters, Carpenter first overall. Her teammate at BC, Haley Skrupa, went at 5. Erin Ambrose from Clarkson at 9. Another Eagle, Dana Trevino at 13, and Kim Newell from Princeton, a netminder at 17.
Now those BC players, they don't really know what losing is. And that's something that I'm sure New York will be very ready to have a couple of those Eagles players on their roster.
Katie King Crowley's team undefeated thus far in the season as they head into hockey's playoff action.
Last year they had been 26 or 27-0 going into the Beanpot Championship when Harvard upset the Eagles. But still, it's the team that has been dominant in Hockey East the last few years.
Dempsey wins the draw. It's kept under Packer's skate. Comes loose. Numbers the other way. 3-on-1. Pelkey with Dempsey trailing. Finds Hickel. Nice back check there. I don't know if that was Ketchum on the back check. I believe it was, knocking that puck away and nullifying the scoring chance for Zoe Hickel. Hickel with a goal already in the game. Decker with 2. Hickel, as I mentioned, Pelkey and Knight, the goal scorers for Boston. Dempsey with 3 assists. Gigi Marvin, 2 assists from the back end, and Decker with an assist to go with her 2 goals.
Handful of different players on the score sheet for Boston so far, but a lot of familiar names and not a lot of surprises with who is there.
Gallardi. Bowie looking for Field. That one bounces off her stick. Pryder offside. Little break allows the Riveters to chip out Belyakova with a shot from the slot. Not handled cleanly by Ott, but Belyakova didn't get the chance to drive hard to the net as the Pride D were in good position.
10.5 minutes left. I have to imagine at this point, New York is kind of thinking about saving a little bit of energy for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, the 15 player roster really doesn't afford you to play a fourth line in this situation, where it would in the men's game, where you probably see coaches really shorten your bench the opposite way of normal.
It would take a small miracle for New York to end up getting the victory today, trailing by 5 goals with 10 minutes left, because that would mean that they're putting in maximum effort, maybe even more than maximum effort.
Puck skirts outside the line. Dasso brings it in, but it was just offside.
Now, it's not impossible to win a game with a short bench. Boston had only 12 skaters back at the end of December, and they got their first win over Connecticut, interrupted the Whales' 8-game winning streak to start the season.
Decker wins the draw, plays back to Blake Bolden. Knight to Gallardi. Here's Bolden, waiting to gain the red line. Brown absolutely decks Kelly Cook. Cookie gets up quick, she's okay. Packer, off Brown skate, nice play by Brown to receive that pass and get it over to Weber. Bolden, up to Cook, Cook to Knight. Knight goes wide with speed, pestered by Johnson, cuts to the middle. Power forward at its best right there.
Great physical play by Knight to be able to keep the puck on her stick and even try a shot on net. Many other players would have just been shaken off pretty easily. You see why she is one of the top talents in the country.
Marvin flubs a backhand, knocked down by Johnson. Weber with some stick handles, picked off by Decker. Knight trying to go back to Decker. Broke it up and Johnston collects behind her own net. 8:38 left to go. Thank you for joining us here for the first ever NWHL playoff game, the quest for the Isobel Cup. Mark Bates with Andy Town. Hickel finds Pelkey. Pelkey's really had the wheels tonight, as she usually does. Such a great playmaker. Leaves that one for Bellamy. Figueroa throws a little elbow into Pelkey. Oh, dangerous collision there as Belyakova goes flying over Ketchum. They both get up. That's good to see. Puck back to Ketchum. I'm sure she's just looking for a line change. Nice pass out to Belyakova. 2-on-1 with Holes. And a furious back check by Bolden.
Great job by Bolden to skate back quickly and throw a stick in there to prevent a shot. I'm sure she'll get a pat on the back from Brittany Ott later.
Oh, absolutely. Long shift by Ketchum as she tries to cycle the puck, trying to get off Pelkey, standing in her way. Gedman, too hot for Hickel's stick. Here's Fartelman. Little snapshot. Might have went high, but snared down by Ott anyways. Face off to the left of Brittany Ott here. One, and Corinne Bowie back the other way with speed. 2-on-3. Uses her legs to get wide. Ammerman tries to spin Gallardi. Her poke check. Actually, Ammerman was offside there.
Well, first NWHL championship, the Isobel Cup, will be awarded next weekend at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Be sure to see who is, or be there to see who's crowned the champion of this inaugural season, as the winner of this series takes on the winner of Buffalo and Connecticut. Tickets available at nwhl.co.
Emily Field into the corner. Tries to throw one on net. It's blocked down by a pack of Riveters. Well, that's an image that I might not get out of my head. A pack of Riveters. That's a strong group.
Jenny Scrivens flying all over the crease right there.
Ammerman knocks it out to center. Also knocks Casey Bellamy in the chin for good measure. Scrivens keeps the puck for Johnston. Knight turns Ammerman. Nice wrist shot in. Blocked down Scrivens. Big save. The rebound by Jordan Smelker. A fantastic save by Scrivens.
Hear the noise from the New York Riveters fans. Sitting not too far from us, Jenny Scrivens really doing an excellent job keeping a couple of shots out of the net in the last 30 seconds or so.
Good deal of Riveters fans making the trip up this weekend. Haven't had much to cheer about to this point, but their Rivs are fighting hard to the end.
And we talked about it at the end of the second period, debating whether or not New York would go for a change in goalie for the third. Scrivens really, I wouldn't say that this 5-0 deficit is her fault at all. She's still made some great saves, and again, with Nena Fujimoto suffering an illness, they do just have Chelsea Layden available in uniform.
Weber back the other way, tries to turn Gedman. Gedman with a nice stick. Back the other way come the Pride. Smelker looking for the trailer Marvin. Marvin drops it off for Knight, but back the other way come the Riveters. Pass too far ahead. And Blake Bolden's there to intercept. Moore was jumping up from the point there. Almost in alone, but Bolden got back, and Moore is going to the bench a little bit gingerly here. There's Bray Ketchum, who had a point streak coming into tonight. Just got 5 minutes to try and pick it up, extend that point streak.
Nobody on the board for New York, and again, it was relatively late in the game that New York interrupted the shutout last time these two teams played in Boston back on January 10th. Kind of an odd shot.
Rebound chance there for Cook driving to the net. You got a penalty for interference as Cook fought through the check to get the rebound. Another good play by Kelly Cook in her limited time. You see both doors opening up here, but it will be a penalty on Sydney Kidd for interference. Back to that Pride power play, which looked good tonight.
Yeah, they've got 2 power play goals so far, and see if they can add a third. Mentioned earlier how the third period has been pretty successful for Boston and the opposite for New York this year. Haven't seen a goal yet for the Pride. Well, again, they do have to play again tomorrow, so with this 5-goal lead coming into the third, can't really blame them for not going full throttle to put as many goals on the board as they can.
And credit Coach Bobby J for leaving Kelly Cook on the ice here, who's really hustled hard this entire game, getting some bonus time on the power play alongside Dempsey and Hickel. Here's Cook finding Bolden. Gedman into the corner. Figueroa checks Dempsey. Packer away from 3 bodies, finally met there. Cook throws it in front. Packer swats at it, not able to get it out. Gedman, patient at the point, finds Dempsey. Hickel to Smelker, fresh off the bench. That one is right off Jenny Scrivens' mask. A new dent in her hardware for sure. Knight back to Marvin. Bellamy Far side for Knight. Throws it back to Decker, fresh off the bench. Marvin winds up, fakes Bellamy. One-timer off Johnston's skate. Knight.
Boston kind of slowing things down here, really figuring out and knowing where the puck is going to go, trying to think a play ahead.
Yeah, really passive. We've seen that the whole game from the Riveters on the shorthand, passive blocking shots. It's giving the Pride opportunities from the outside.
It's looked like they kind of want to think about it, know where it's going to cycle around, but then you can tell, you can sense when the shot is going to be coming because they really start to pick up the pace one or two passes ahead of time, and Boston able to find some good open holes. They're not forcing shots into lanes that aren't there. They're taking shots that are fairly open, and so far Scrivens able to make the saves. 45, 46 saves now for Jenny Scrivens tonight.
Penalty about to expire. Field in with Lannis as Kidd steps out of the box. Field up to Bolden. Wrist shot for a tip. Lannis gets a piece of it. That's up and over the net. Here's Corinne Bowie. Quick shot, rebound, loose in front, smothered by Scrivens. And in comes Hanrahan on Field. Field pushes her up. I don't think Emily Field meant to push the ref there. She really wanted to get at Beth Hanrahan, though.
She's having a laugh about it right now. The linesman kind of realizing that she was collateral damage as Field was charging after Hanrahan, but the linesman did her job. Kept the altercation from happening, and it's just another 2-minute power play coming up for the Pride.
Yeah, frustration penalty for sure there from the Riveters.
The linesman going down probably actually saved Boston from taking a matching penalty or possibly even worse.
Lannis on the draw, wins that one from Belyakova.
2 minutes for cross-checking.
Gallardi and Bolden passing back and forth. Field backdoor for Lannis. Bowie, hard pass back to Bolden. Fakes the shot. Johnston trying to skate away from her checkers. It's broken up. Lannis, Gallardi. Nice block by Brown on the Bolden blast. Similar looking power play to what we've seen here.
Circling around, taking their time, making sure they have open shots. That
puck hit a body in front, thrown up off the protective netting almost into the Riveter bench. Minute 6 left on the power play, 1:36 left in the third period. Dempsey, Pelkey, Hickel, that second unit for the Pride. Fartelman and Holes up front for the Riveters. Here's Pelkey into the corner. Nifty pass across looking for Hickel, just gets by her stick. In front, and a rebound goal by Dempsey with a backhand. Not much on that, but kind of surprised Scrivens, I believe, and 6-0 Pride.
Yeah, we saw this power play and the power play before. Boston really taking their time looking for those open shots, and that was probably the most broken play we've seen from Boston. Really not even just on the last couple of power plays, but for most of the night. That puck was deflecting. We heard it bang off some wood and some loose sticks out in front, and then Dempsey just able to pick it up.
4th point of the night for Jillian Dempsey. She's been a Riveter killer all year, and that continues into the Isobel Cup playoffs.
1:22 remaining in the period. That's Dempsey from Gedman and Pelkey.
Dempsey from Gedman and Pelkey. Pelkey picks up her first helper of the night.
Just the second 4-point game of the season for a Pride player. Brianna Decker doing it with the hat trick, her second hat trick of the year. at Connecticut a couple weeks ago.
Johnson backpedals, rips one angrily off glass. Speaking of anger, Celeste Brown takes a high stick here. Pelkey and Celeste Brown really jawing at one another. We can't tell you what they're saying, not because we can't hear it. It's just not, it's not broadcast legal.
Trying to keep it a family-friendly environment here.
And it is. That's one of the best parts about the NWHL. You look around, just young fans everywhere in Pride jerseys and Riveter jerseys.
We do see penalties against each team. Pelkey and Brown both in the boxes, and they'll bring the face-off back up to the offensive zone for New York, where the puck was when the whistles blow.
Celeste Brown will go for a high stick, roughing on Amanda Pelkey. And again, if it wasn't for the nice work of the linesman, we might have had a big skirmish there.
Could have been the second one of the night if not for the work of the linesman.
1 minute. New York penalty called on 44.
So some 4-on-4 action allows some of these players to get an extra rest, and for those on the ice, some open ice and a chance at some more offense. Bowie with Dempsey. 2 against 4. Dempsey cuts back, blows a tire. Gedman, no look pass to Dempsey. Johnson checking her in front. Bowie shot. Saved by Scrivens. Packer with 26. She's content to send that in behind Brittany Ott. Marvin throws it to Dempsey. No one seems to want to touch the hot potato. Looped out to center by Gedman. Here's Ketchum. Last chance at extending the point streak to 9. Ripped. If that one was on net, it might have had a chance. It's not. The Pride wins 6-0. And a shutout for Brittany Ott.
Second one of the season, only goaltender in the NWHL to even have one. And she did a great job tonight, though she wasn't tested all that much. 17 saves for her, and Jenny Scrivens, do want to give her a lot of credit tonight. 49 saves, despite giving up 6 goals.
Just a fantastic game from Scrivens. Probably didn't know she was starting until she showed up at the rink tonight. So the Pride win this one handily. It was never close. Game got a little bit chippy at the end. We wonder if that will carry over into tomorrow. 6 penalties in all for the Riveters, 3 for the Pride. Decker with 2 goals, Hickel, Pelkey, Knighton, Dempsey. Dempsey also with 3 assists. Gigi Marvin with 2 assists. Decker, Pelkey, and Gedman all with helpers.
3 power play goals tonight for the Boston Pride, and they'll carry that momentum into tomorrow and try and get a sweep into the Isobel Cup playoffs, or into the Isobel Cup finals.
We hope you folks will come down to the Raymond J. Bork Arena if you're in the area tomorrow, located on the campus of Endicott College in Beverly.
And an update from Connecticut.
We've got an out-of-town score coming in.
Connecticut will still lead Buffalo 2-0.
2-0 Whale over Buffalo, no surprise there. The Buffalo team has fought hard all year, but a lot of firepower in that Whale lineup.
And Connecticut had completed the season sweep of Buffalo, 6-0 in the regular season. So they'll look to continue that tonight and possibly tomorrow, but it's kind of expected that we would see Boston and Connecticut in the Isobel Cup final next week, unless, of course, New York or Buffalo can win 2 straight nights.
Again, tomorrow's game will be an 8 o'clock start here, so if you can't make it down, you can join us again. Mark Bates along here with Andy Town, and Andy, you'll be back Sunday if necessary?
If necessary, I'll be here, and looking forward to it. And it's been a great season with the Boston Pride, and certainly if I don't get to see them again this year, looking forward to next year.
For everyone here